Life isn't about finding yourself. Life is about creating yourself. When I first uttered those words, I did not intend them to become a gentle suggestion for people to pin to their walls and forget. They were meant as a hammer to shatter a very dangerous illusion, the illusion that somewhere, hidden under layers of time and experience, there lies a ready-made true self waiting patiently to be found. Too many people live their entire lives in pursuit of this ghost. They wander through their days with the belief that they are on a kind of archaeological dig, brushing away the dust from their circumstances in the hope that one day they will uncover an ancient, untouched version of themselves, polished and complete, like some lost artifact. It is a fantasy, and it is a lazy one at that. It keeps you walking in circles instead of building roads. The truth is that there is no fixed you waiting to be discovered. You are not a fossil, you are a lump of clay, and if you do not take hold of your own hands and begin shaping, you will remain nothing more than an unformed mass. That is the heart of what I mean by creating yourself, the recognition that you are not an object to be uncovered, but a work to be constructed, refined, and even rebuilt entirely when necessary. This idea unsettles people because it places the burden squarely on their own shoulders. If life is about finding yourself, then you can remain passive. You can tell yourself that your only task is to explore, to wait for the right experiences, to wander until the truth emerges. But if life is about creating yourself, then there is no more wondering, no more waiting, no more blaming fate or society for the shape of your ignorance. It means the final outcome of who you become is your responsibility, your work, and your fault if it is wasted. That is a far heavier load to carry, and I am fully aware that many would rather avoid it. They prefer the comfort of believing that the real them is out there somewhere, and that their only job is to stumble upon it when the stars align. But stars do not align for the idle, and no miracle will carve you into greatness. You will either take control of the chisel yourself, or you will remain shapeless, defined only by the forces that happen to press upon you. When I speak of creating yourself, I am not promising an easy, glorious adventure. The work is rarely romantic. It is the grind of discipline, the irritation of confronting your own ignorance, the stubborn repetition of practice when your interest has already faded. It is waking earlier than you wish, reading longer than you enjoy, thinking harder than is comfortable. It is the labor of discarding your own cherished excuses, the belief that you cannot because you were not born into privilege, the belief that your failures define you, the belief that the world owes you a charm. The world owes you nothing. That is perhaps the most liberating and most terrifying truth you will ever accept. In the absence of any cosmic debt owed to you, all you have left is the power to choose and to act. Creation begins then. Many imagine that creation is simply a matter of adding skills, adding experiences, adding achievements. But the truth is more brutal. To create yourself, you must also subtract. You must cut away the parts of you that are holding you back, even if you have grown attached to them. This means abandoning the habits that dull your mind, the relationships that sap your strengths, the fears that shrink your ambition. It is not enough to dream of who you might be. You must also destroy what you refuse to remain. The sculptor does not simply keep adding clay to the figure. He chips away the unnecessary marble until the desired form is revealed. You too must chip away at yourself. And yes, it will hurt. People will tell you that you've changed, and they will not mean it as a compliment. But if you do not change, you are not creating, you are preserving. And preservation is only valuable when what you are preserving is already worth keeping. And let us be honest, most people are not worth preserving in their present form. Most are a patchwork of imitation, a collage of borrowed mannerisms, opinions, and ambition. They have built their identities out of scraps taken from others, And so when you strip away the borrowed parts, there is nothing left. This is why I warn against imitation. Study others, yes, be inspired by them, certainly. But do not let your creation be a counterfeit. The world does not need another person trying to be a second-rate version of someone else. It needs you, a deliberate, original, unmistakable creation that could not have come from any other set of hands but your own. The first act of creation is decision. You must decide, here and now, who you will become. Not who you will become if the economy improves, or if your parents approve, or if you happen to feel motivated one morning. Who you will become, regardless of those things. Fix it in your mind as a certainty. Speak it to yourself as if it is already true. Then, every day, act in accordance with it. Do not wait for inspiration. It is the most unreliable of friends. Do not wait for permission. No one will grant it if you do not seize it. You will meet resistance in yourself and in others, and you must outlast both. And do not pretend that failure will not come. It will, and it will come often. You will make mistakes that seem in the moment to ruin everything you have built. You will be tempted to declare that you are not suited for this after all. But failure is not the opposite of creation. It is the raw material. Every flaw in the marble is an opportunity to alter the shape, to refine the work. To fear failure is to fear the process itself. And those who fear the process never produce anything worth seeing. What then of the question? What if I create the wrong self? It is a question born of cowardice. Though I understand this thing, the answer is simple. Then you create again. You are not frozen in the first form you give yourself. You are the sculptor and the stone, and the only permanence is the choice to stop working. If you look at the figure you have made and find it lacking, you do not stand there wringing your hand. You pick up the chisel and keep shaping. The tragedy is not in creating poorly. The tragedy is in never creating at all. You will also discover that creating yourself changes your relationship with the world. You will begin to notice how the self you have shaped influences others, how your discipline inspires or intimidates, how your words encourage or challenge. Your creation is not yours alone. Every person you encounter will be touched by the person you have made yourself to be. That is both a privilege and a responsibility. Create well, and you will leave the world richer than you found it. Create carelessly, and you will become one more example of wasted potential. And I warn you, there will be no applause for most of your work. The crowd rarely notices the years of quiet effort. They see only the final form and assume it was inevitable. They will call you lucky, as if luck had anything to do with it. Let them. You do not create for their applause. You create because to do otherwise is to squander the only life you have been given. So I say to you again, stop searching for yourself. There is nothing to find, only something to make. Take hold of yourself as you would take hold of a block of marble, with purpose, with vision, and with the courage to strike hard when needed. Begin shaping now. And do not stop, because if you do not shape yourself, others will, and they will not shape you for your own benefit. One day you will awaken as something you neither chose nor admire, and that is the bitterest fate of all. Now, let us speak of the common disease that cripples the act of creation before it even begins: hesitation. It is not that people do not know they must act, they know it all too well, that they sit and wait for some imagined sign that now is the perfect time. They are like painters who refuse to touch the canvas until the light is exactly right, or writers who refuse to write until the weather matches the mood they wish to capture. In the end, the light changes, the weather shifts, and the opportunity passes while they are still preparing to prepare. Let me tell you plainly, the perfect time does not exist. You will always be too young or too old, too poor or too distracted, too tired or too busy. There will always be a reason to wait, And if you allow those reasons to dictate your actions, you will still be waiting when the curtain falls on your life. Creation demands that you begin where you are, with what you have, and trust that the act of starting will bring forth the tools and insights you think you lack. Hesitation's twin brother is doubt, and together they have robbed more people of their potential than poverty or misfortune ever could. Doubt is insidious because it disguises itself as caution, as reasonable. It whispers that you must be sure before you act, that you must have proof before you believe. But proof is the product of creation, not its prerequisite. You will never be sure, not true. And if you demand certainty before you move, you will stand frozen while those with less intelligence but more courage pass you by. The truth is, doubt will always be present, and the measure of a person is not whether they feel it, but whether they act in spite of it. To create yourself is to walk through a fog of uncertainty, with the confidence that the ground will be there when your foot falls, and if it is not, that you will learn to fly before you hit the bottom. Let us also discard the sentimental notion that creating yourself is a purely joyful process. Yes, there will be moments of exhilaration when you feel your power surging and your mind ablaze with ideas. But there will also be moments when the work feels heavy and your progress invisible, when you begin to wonder if any of it matters. These moments are not signs that you should stop. They are signs that you are in the thick of the real work, the work that most people avoid. You must learn to press on through boredom, through frustration, through the monotony of repetition. The sculptor's chisel strikes the same stone again and again before any form emerges, and so it is with you. Creation is as much endurance as it is inspiration. Another illusion I must destroy is the belief that your environment determines your creation. I will not deny that circumstances have an influence. To pretend otherwise would be absurd, but they are not the deciding factor. I have known people born into luxury who produce nothing but vanity, and people born into hardship who carve themselves into greatness with tools they forged from their own will. If you wait for the perfect environment, you will remain at the mercy of forces you cannot control. Better to cultivate an inner environment, a mind and spirit so committed to your vision that it can create in the face of scarcity, hostility, or chaos. That is the true strength of a creator, the ability to shape oneself in defiance of the conditions one is given. And do not underestimate the role of deliberate discomfort in this process. Comfort is the great sedative of ambition. It lulls you into a gentle stagnation, convincing you that you are content when in truth you are merely inactive. If you wish to create yourself, you must step regularly into situations that challenge you, that demand more than you are sure you can give. You must speak when you are tempted to remain silent, attempt when you are certain you will fail, endure when you would rather withdraw. These moments will stretch you, and stretching is the only way to grow. If you remain within the boundaries of your current capacity, you will remain exactly as you are, and if you are here, listening to me now, then I suspect you want more than that. In your pursuit of creation, beware also of the chorus of voices that will rise to dissuade you. They will tell you that you are wasting your time, that your ambitions are unrealistic, that you should be content with what you have. Some will speak from jealousy, others from genuine concern, and still others from their own fear disguised as wisdom. You must decide early and with conviction whose voices matter to you, and the answer should be very few indeed. If you listen to the masses, you will become the masses. If you wish to be more, you must tune your ear to a rarer frequency, the voice of your own reason, and the counsel of those who have themselves dared to create. And yet, even as you build, there will come times when you must destroy. You may find that the self you have been shaping no longer fits the life you wish to live. Perhaps your early ambitions were too small, or perhaps they were misguided entirely. The weak will cling to these outdated forms, afraid of the pain of dismantling them, but you must not. To destroy what no longer serves you is not failure, it is evolution. Do not mistake the dismantling of an old creation for the absence of creation itself. The sculptor who sees a flaw in his work does not abandon art. He begins anew, wiser for the attempt. Most crucial of all is the understanding that creation is never finished. The moment you declare yourself complete is the moment you begin to decay. Life will keep moving, and if you do not move with it, you will become irrelevant to the world and worse, to yourself. Creation is a lifelong act, a daily choice to shape and reshape. You will outgrow ideas you once defended fiercely. You will shed identities you once thought permanent. This is not inconsistency, it is growth. The tree that refuses to bend will snap in the wind. The person who refuses to evolve will be broken by the changes they cannot control. So here we are, you and I, at the end of this particular exchange, and I will tell you plainly, nothing I have said today matters in this life, unless you do something with it. Words, even my words, no matter how well crafted or clever, are nothing more than vibrations in the air if they do not stir you to act. Too many people listen to speeches, read books, underline phrases that sound wise, and then return to their lives exactly as they were. They imagine that nodding in agreement is the same as transformation. It is not. Agreements cost you nothing. Creation costs you everything you are right now, because you must give that self up to become the one you have imagined. Understand this, you will not find the person you are looking for because that person does not exist yet. They are not hiding in some remote corner of your mind, waiting to be discovered like a buried relic. They are a work in progress, and the artist is you. You will build them one choice at a time, one act of courage at a time, one refusal to be small when smallness feels safe. You will chisel away what does not belong. You will add what is missing, and you will do this again and again until you draw your last breath. That is the work. That is the only work that matters. You may say, but what if I fail? And I will answer you, you will, many times, and each failure will strip from you another layer of vanity, of illusion, of weakness you did not know you had. You will emerge sharper, leaner, stronger, or you will stop, and the self you might have been will die unborn. Do not tell me you cannot bear to lose. Loss is the price of the ticket. It is the admission fee for a life worth living. What you should truly fear is the slow erosion of a life unattempted, a life where you wake each day and realize you are not the author of your own story, but a character written by others. If you leave here today with nothing else, take this. There is no destiny waiting for you, no divine plan with your name on it. There is only the raw material of your life, your body, your mind, your time, your will. You are the sculptor, the painter, the writer, the architect, and the quality of your work will be the measure of your life. Whether the final form is magnificent or pitiful will depend on whether you dare to take up the tools and keep working, no matter the resistance, no matter the cost. So, the next time you are tempted to speak of finding yourself, stop. You are not lost. You are unfinished. You are not a hidden treasure waiting to be uncovered. You are clay, stone, iron to be shaped, refined, and made into something worthy. Do not wander in search of yourself. Stand still, decide who you will be, and begin the labor of making it so. That is the only way. And when, years from now, you look back at the life you have lived, you will not see an accident of fate. You will see a deliberate act of creation. You will know that you were not found, you were made. And that, my friend, is a far greater triumph. Now go, begin,